Hydration. Are you hydrating? Very important. Say, I'll get some water later. I'll get some Coke. I'll get some coffee. All right. Caffeine is a diuretic. A diuretic cleanses your body of liquid, of water. So for every cup of coffee you drink, you have to drink the same amount of water twice in order to make up for the moisture that leaves your body. Listen, I'm not a coffee hater, okay? No, I don't drink a lot of coffee. I drink it every once in a while. It's not really my thing. I'm not on the warpath against coffee. But I'm just telling you, caffeine's a diuretic. If you love your coffee, you got to make the sacrifice for it. You got to drink more water. So what a way to start this session. We're getting towards the end really here, but it wouldn't be complete without talking about consonants. I actually have been in a number of situations, particularly in traditional church settings, which is where I operate a lot. And these principles will work no matter what you're doing, pretty much. But I'm in traditional church settings a lot where they're singing the hymns of the faith, and they have things called special music. When someone, maybe before the preacher gets up to preach or whatever it is, will get up and sing a song. And this happens a lot to choirs too, where they'll get up and they'll sing a song and you're like, wow, they have made some incredible sounds. Oh, I love the harmony. I love the tone. But you can't understand a lick of what they're saying. Why? Because it's all vowels. Okay, consonants are there so we can understand what people are saying. Consonants are important. In fact, as long as we're talking about church, the Apostle Paul did say he'd rather speak one word in a language people understood than 5,000 in one they didn't. Why? Because whether you're a churchgoer or not, okay, communication can't occur if the people can't understand what you're saying. Consonants are a big part of that, and they help us determine what our vowels are trying to say, what our words are really. I believe a lot of wasted music is taking place because people can't understand the words, and clear consonants are key to understanding a singer's words. Have you ever been around someone that's trying to talk like that, and you can't really understand what they're saying? And they just they start moving their mouth and raise my hands. What if I taught my whole session that way? And then I want you, okay, that would be horrible. And you'd be demanding your money back. Okay. No, consonants, so important, vitally important. In fact, you can sing the most beautiful vowels on the planet, but they mean nothing if your audience can't understand you. Clotheslines in coloring books. Here's two consonant analogies. Remember we talked about vowels being like a clothesline, right? Coming across. Well, if vowels are those long sweeping clotheslines, and consonants are the clothespins you hang on the line. Okay? So the line doesn't break, but there's clothespins that hang on the line. They're brief interruptions, they're brief defining boundaries in the vowels that distinguish the words. In fact, you can think of it in another mental way, and that is a coloring book. If singing were like coloring, the vowels would be the colors and the consonants would be the lines. Coloring with only colors and no definition would look beautiful perhaps, but you wouldn't be able to tell what the picture was very well. You need those lines, boundaries to give it definition. So how do we do this? Well, since words are important, consonants put the definition on vowels. Here's how to sing in a way people can understand. I choose to make my consonants very clear when I sing. One of the most common comments that I hear, submitting this to you humbly, about my singing is that you can understand every word. I had a man come up to me not too long ago before I made this session here, and he said, I am so, what was the word he used? I'm so relaxed when you sing because I can understand what you're singing. I love that. I love that. That's an honor. How do I accomplish that? I do my best to accomplish that. Well, I want to have beautiful vowels. You know, there's a lot of people that can sing with beautiful vowels, but they leave out the consonants, treat them like the enemy. No, that's not it. I put my consonants slightly before the downbeats and the vowels on the downbeats. This is almost impossible to demonstrate reading it, so I'm glad this is a video format. I've written this down. But here's a Christmas song, Sweet Little Jesus Boy. Sweet little Jesus boy, born in a manger. Okay? That word sweet is made up of 4 basic parts. S, w, e, t, right? S, e, t. 4 basic parts. In this word, we have the consonant S, the nearly silent sound of the lips spreading open to give the W sound, the W, the vowel E, which is the actual only vowel in the word, and the concluding T consonant. When I sing, I place the we sound on the beat. So if there's the beat, sweet little Jesus boy. Now that's kind of a free-floating song, but I'm going to keep it strict in time for the illustration. But I put the S slightly before the beat. So it's sweet. Did you hear that? Sweet. Sweet. Now, I exaggerated it for you, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to draw out those consonants. Perhaps the best way to understand what I mean is to try it yourself. Okay? So here's the beat. And I want you to do this. We're just going to speak it first. Sweet. 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 Hear that? Sweet. A lot of people will do sweet and try to put it all. I anticipate it. Sweet. Sweet little Jesus boy. In fact, I did it on Jesus there too. Jesus boy. Okay, what is that? It's not over dramatizing. What it's doing is that it's enabling people to get that ring of the consonant while still having the pureness of the vowel. Ultimately, it actually adds time that I can hang on to the vowel. I call this Disney voice. There was another guy, oh boy, just a week ago, and he's been a pastor of a church, and I used to go help their church for about 6 weeks every summer and help their music program there, and I came up with this idea of the Disney voice. And he said, I still tell my choirs and people, we need to have the Disney voice. Now, what's the Disney voice? Well, some of the best singers for clear enunciation are those who have voiced animated characters in Disney musical cartoons. I haven't kept up with all the Disney animated features, nor do I necessarily recommend them, all the time or whatever. But, who doesn't like some of the Disney music, right? Maybe not all of them are your cup of tea, but they do offer an excellent learning opportunity for us as singers. You can hear the consonant anticipation I'm talking about in songs from my childhood, actually, such as A Whole New World from the Disney movie Aladdin back in, when was that? Early 90s, it had to have been. You listen to the way the singer pronounces the whole first verse. Now, he was a young guy at the time, and I'm sure he wasn't doing everything in what was considered proper at the time, but the enunciation part was excellent. Now, his duet partner, the girl, was Leah Salonga, and she was just 15, I think, at the time, 14 or 15, and she's had a tremendous career, went on to star in all kinds of Broadway stuff, as well as, what was the other one she did? Mulan. She's the singing voice of Mulan. Did she do one other one? She's had a tremendous career, and still her voice just sounds fantastic. But what am I saying? I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Okay, that's Disney voice. The consonants are brilliant. They're quick. They're a little bit ahead of the beat, so they're anticipatory, and they're just crystalline. That's really important. Ariel's song. From The Little Mermaid. Her song's from The Little Mermaid. Okay, it's not my favorite Disney animated movie, okay? But the songs from there are a lot of fun. And Miss Benson, Jodie Benson, who voiced that, did a tremendous job. All the way around, but the consonants are just incredible. Did a great job. That anticipation of the consonants off the beat. What's those songs? if you take a listen to them, you can hear the crystalline quality of those consonants. Why do they sing that way? Why do we have this method of consonant anticipation? Well, they're voicing animated characters whose mouths are not as accurate or as expressive as actual human mouths. When we hear someone singing, we tend to look at their eyes to check for sincerity, and then we kind of watch their mouths to check for intelligibility. With animated characters, watching their mouths isn't going to help a whole lot. Now, they've come a long way since those early movies, and they're getting closer and closer all the time. But the creators choose vocalists who enunciate in such a way that they can be understood. This is a vital lesson if you want your message to be communicated. You want your message to be communicated. No, you want your message to be communicated. See, a lot of these things we learn in singing port directly over into speaking. Don't miss the point. I'm not talking about the entertainment value of these cartoons and such. That's not what I'm emphasizing. It's the vocal clarity and intelligibility. So you take this little lesson of the consonants, and you hang those clothespins on that long clothesline. Back to Amazing Grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. And you put it together with crystalline, clear consonants that anticipate just a little bit, even as I'm speaking. And you put those two things together, and you have the makings of great communication from a vocal standpoint. Pick a favorite song. If you sing in church, pick a hymn that you like. If you want to pick just a fun song that you know, Christmas songs are great because we tend to all know them. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, as opposed to I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Get those consonants in there. So vitally, vitally important. If you practice these techniques regularly, singing some of your favorite songs, whether you're a churchgoer and you know some hymns, you can do it that way. You can sing some of the Disney songs. Christmas songs are a great ones to practice on, but if you do it regularly, work on those vowel tones and then putting the consonants on, I promise you'll have precise enunciation that people can understand. And it's amazing how many people will appreciate just being able to understand what you're trying to communicate. Now, next time we'll wrap it all up with some closing thoughts and quick tips you can use every time that you sing.